broadcast meteorologist, Jim Vaughn.
Raleigh, North Carolina, welcome in. You have now entered the RDU Live radio show right here on Oak 93.5 WRLY, and I am your host, Cameron McCarty. If you're listening on the FM dial specifically right now, please make sure you're staying buckled up. Make sure that you're staying safe out there. And if you happen to be coming up by the airport, 540, which is the area that we're talking to right now, be on the lookout. They're actually shutting down 540. I think the president of the United States, Joe Biden, and the vice president, Kamala Harris, they were in town over in Raleigh, and they might be flying in or out, something like that. All I know is that they're shutting down 540 right now. Both sides are being shut down. So be prepared to stop or find another route, okay? And if you're watching on one of the streams out there and you're not in the area, I appreciate you for listening, watching, tuning in. Go ahead, put something in the comments. Let us know that you're watching. We'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to hit that like, share, subscribe button. They say it helps the algorithm. And wherever you might be, hey, if you're sitting out in traffic, especially you, but if you're sitting on your couch, you too, this is a call-in show. This is an interactive show. So that means when we're not playing music, those phone lines are wide open. And that phone number is 919-899-9305. That's 919-899-9305. Look, we got a casual show for you today. This is going to be a Cam's conversation. We don't have a guest coming in the studio. We're taking a break on a guest for just a little second here. And I just wanted to talk to you about a couple things that are happening, a couple of things that are coming up, do a little current event kind of thing here and there, and just have a little conversation with the listeners. So definitely today is one of those days that if you got something you want to talk about, we're here. We're here from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. every Tuesday. We're here 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. And this is a conversation that you can get in on. So don't be afraid to put something in the comments and or go ahead and call in. All right. And we have one music track we're going to play for you. And we'll get back to that a little bit later on in the show. It's a local band here. The track just came out. I'm going to be the first to play it on air. They don't even know I'm playing it yet. It's one of those tracks that I had to mix in on this one today. So let's start this thing off with a little bit of what's going on around the world. If you haven't heard about the Baltimore area, up there about 1:30 in the morning, a cargo ship hit a bridge and the bridge collapsed. It just so happened that it was 1:30 in the morning, so it wasn't like the rush hour like it is today. But there were cars on the bridge. Likewise, there were some workers that were working on the bridge. And as it stands, I hadn't checked in the last hour or so, but as it stood around 4 p.m. Eastern time, they weren't finding a lot of people in that moment. They say that it's a strong current that is out there right now. And it, a strong current means, things are moving in the water. So, my thoughts, my prayers, are definitely going out to the folks up in the Baltimore area. I haven't read every report. I've heard that the cargo ship lost power and there was a mayday sent out from the ship. Luckily, that the mayday did come out, so they were able to kind of start the Baltimore area. They were able to start shutting down some streets, shutting down the area a little bit, so to mitigate how many cars were on the bridge at that given time. But it happened, and the whole bridge collapsed. That bridge was about a mile long. It was about a mile long, and it collapsed. So if you haven't heard, now you've heard. if you have some people up in the Baltimore area, the Virginia area, that way, just reach out to them, make sure they're okay, make sure they're still safe. And as of right now, they're going to be, of course, rerouting all shipping traffic from that port area to another port down in Virginia. So hopefully, we're not impacted from a cargo standpoint as well. But more importantly, just thinking about those people that honestly might be underwater right now. That's a reality that has happened to us overnight this morning. So if you haven't heard, now you've heard. And of course, I just hit it at the top of the show that the president and vice president were in town today. They were over at the Chavis Community Center, something like that. They're doing, it's 2024. It's 2024, and it's an election year. It's an election year, and I think Trump was in Greensboro a couple weeks ago. Kamala was in downtown Durham 2 weeks ago, and Biden and Kamala were in town today. I think they're talking about this particular run. They're talking about their healthcare initiatives and what they're trying to do there. So it's that time of the year, or it's that time in our lives, right? Every 4 years it comes around. And we're at the last, it's November is when it happens. November is when it happens, like it's some death day, or is it? I don't know. You tell me. It's one of those days, right? It's one of those days that we're going to start seeing more of this tour. And we're in North Carolina, so our state is important for many reasons. Our state is important for many reasons. So the president and the vice president, they'll be coming through. And the Trumps of the world, they'll be coming through. So if that's what you're into, be on the lookout, I guess, right? Be on the lookout. It's live entertainment in the Triangle. That's what I call it. I like listening to music in the Triangle. But when you got a presidential election going on and politicians coming through, maybe that's the best live entertainment there is. You tell me. Speaking of North Carolina, we in North Carolina, baby. And I'm a basketball fan. One of the reasons I'm holding my laptop right here. If you're watching, if you're listening on the FM dial right now in your radio, on your radio in your car, if you're listening like that, keep listening. But if you're watching, you can see on the stream right now. I got my laptop up. I pulled it up because I wanted to show that Wolfpack, baby. I wanted to show that Wolfpack. Wolfpack Nation out there, if you're listening, go ahead and call in and just give me a wolf. Somebody call in and give me a pack. I'll be listening for you. But the Wolfpack, we're doing our thing. We made it to the Sweet 16. Doing our thing, and we made it to the Sweet 16. That's right. We're having an amazing run, and a historical run, some would say. What is that, 7 games or 6 games in 7 days, something like that. Or it's 5 games for the ACC tournament, and then we've won 2 in the NCAA tournament so far. So that's 7 games in a matter of, I want to say 12 days. Somebody fact check me, call in, tell me if I'm right or wrong. But it's a historic run. The guys are playing good, and you never know what could happen. In this particular scenario, even though we're a Power 5 team, we're always in the mix. This would be considered a Cinderella story because people aren't counting us in. People didn't count us in. We had to win 5 games back to back to win the ACC tournament, right? And it's one of these runs that, whether it goes on from here or not, got to be proud of the Wolfpack Nation. The women's basketball team, they beat Tennessee. It's Wolfpack Nation all day, all right? It's March. And NC State is doing its thing. Hey, this is the RDU live show. We cover everything in the Triangle, but there's a strong bias for the Wolfpack Nation. All right. Hey, I'm still waiting on somebody to call and give me that pack. Let's go. I'm waiting for the response. All right. Now I can't. This is the RDU live show, right? So I'm not gonna leave out the other institutions. They're of a different color scheme. They're a different color scheme there. We're talking about Duke and UNC. And they're doing good too. They're winning. They're doing good too. They are, luckily for this whole area, We got our main 3 teams that have made it to the Sweet 16. So if you're a Carolina fan, if you're a Duke fan, I want to say, happy, you guys are going on. You're supporting the economy in the area. We'll talk about that in just a second, supporting the economy in the area. But that Wolfpack Nation, man, that Wolfpack Nation, I gotta give us something to. That's for the Wolfpack Nation. That's just for the Wolfpack Nation right there. All right. Speaking of college sports, and sports in general, talking about the economy, a couple things I want to hit on there. It's very interesting how college sports impact an economy. If you're living in the triangle, you know exactly what this means. Of course, a college in general impacts the economy, right? Just for the jobs that it provides, as well as the students and what they provide as residents to said economy, as well as when they graduate, whatever percentage stays in the area, then you have college educated graduates in that area, right? But it's very interesting what sports can do. Sports from an economic standpoint brings so much, whether you're playing games in the area at home, of course, or you're in the tournament, right? So every school, I forget the number, somebody can once again fact check this, but when you're in these tournaments, just like bowl games in football in the NCAA, every time you win a game, your institution gets a certain amount of money that kind of goes along with that, right? Compensation. So the further you go, the better you do. So, right. So that's just a 1-for-1. But one thing we talk about on this show is places to go. And it's just amazing how many places are having watch parties, are having themed events around these games. And the longer our teams stay involved, the more the local scene, the more people want to get out and go and be with friends, the more the local grocer makes, right? Because they're selling more wings and hamburgers and hot dog buns to supply for these parties. Likewise, the more the local bar makes, because people want to go out and enjoy themselves and root for their favorite team. And so there's this interesting idea about how the college sports in general, especially when you're talking about Power 5 schools like we know of in the ACC, the SEC, the Big 10, Big 12, and then you start talking about the elite programs. You start talking about the Alabamas in football, right? Ohio State for football, and Duke University, University of North Carolina in basketball, and how it impacts the culture and the economy in very, very positive ways, extremely positive ways. If you're listening right now and you're from the Triangle, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You've probably heard this talked about over and over again. If you're not from this area, or you're from a smaller area that doesn't have the necessary impact or doesn't feel the impact, then just understand Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, when there's a game, a football or a basketball game that's going on, the cities are lit up, especially in a time like this. When I say the cities are lit up, people are out, people are moving, people are commercing. I don't know if that's a word. Somebody tell me if that's a word or not. But since we're talking about economy, I'm just kind of setting the stage here for something. In North Carolina, very, very recently, I want to say in the last 2 weeks, I think it was 2 weeks ago, sports betting opened up in the state. Sports betting. And some people are going, yes, finally, and some people who enjoy betting, who enjoy it for whatever the case is. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Do what you want to do. Go to Vegas, do what you want to do. Go to FanDuel, do what you want to do. Sports betting being legal isn't my issue. However, the promotion, the over promotion of it, I think currently it's egregious, and I think it's irresponsible. I think it's egregious, and I think it's irresponsible in how much advertising, how much promotion has been into sports betting in the last 2 years. It has reached a point that I once again, I'm going to use the same word. It's irresponsible for the population at large. There's one thing to go to Vegas. There's one thing to go to a casino. There's one thing to bet online. There's one thing to go to the sweepstakes. There's one thing to, it's another thing to go to the local gas station and buy a scratch-off ticket, right? These are all forms of some form of betting. I contend, I've got stocks. I've done options trading. I contend that's a very similar form of gambling. I mean, if you want to call it what it is, you're putting your money into something, expecting a return, but you have no impact on how the money goes up or down. That's a gamble. Investing is a gamble. Starting a business is a gamble. I'm not against it, right? But when I'm watching a sporting event and the announcers are talking about the bet lines, what are we promoting here? Are we promoting the game? Are we promoting the fairness of the game? We're talking about the game. Now, I'm talking about the game now. I'm not talking about practice. I'm actually talking about the real game. All my sports fans know what I'm alluding to there. But we're talking about the actual game. Or are we talking about the bet, the line, the parlay? Every other commercial, if you watch sports and sports are in your algorithm, in some form or fashion, you have seen FanDuel, DraftKings, whoever, whatever they are. I tell you what, go back and watch last season when they brought football, when they brought the NFL, the Raiders to Vegas. You could already see the writings on the wall. Go back and watch the Raiders games. When they're kicking the field goal, you can see right above the field goal, it has FanDuel up there or whoever they're sponsored by. Like as they're kicking the field goal right in like center frame of the camera. They're telling us something. Everything's a storyline. Why when I turn on NFL Today or ESPN, the first thing I see, not even just on the advertisements, but actually on the programming themselves, the first thing that I see is a bet line. Why are my commentators in the pregame telling me what their bet lines are? We're not talking about the game anymore. We're not talking about the X's and O's and how to win the game. We're spending half the programming talking about the bet line. I think it's a problem. You come out with the NIL. Here's the thing. We're in the Triangle. There's a lot of college athletes in this area. If you're a college athlete listening to this, hey, I want you to get your bag. I want you to get your money. I ain't got no problem with the NIL. None whatsoever. I got no problem. But you come out with the NIL. Name, if you're not familiar with that, that's name, image, and likeness. That's just historically the NCAA was not allowing student athletes to make money or profit off of their name, image, or likeness while they were playing that said sport, whatever that sport was. Bring it to real life examples. Before the NIL became, a thing and was allowed, a college athlete couldn't be on a commercial and make personal money from said commercial. They couldn't go and do any type of advertisement and make personal money for using their face or their name. They couldn't endorse a product and receive funds from a private entity. Now they can, right? And I'm for that. I'm for that. It's $1 billion industry. We were talking about the NCAA specifically. It's $1 billion industry. They're making money. I think the workers, if you want to call it that, but the athletes, the ones who are actually putting on the product that's making the money, the ones that are actually doing it, I think that they should be compensated personally. And that's a different discussion. If you have a different feeling about that, go ahead and call in and talk to me. But I'm pretty strong about that. However, You have the NIL. So now we've opened up a whole new revenue stream, a whole new concept of revenue. And if you're in this area, once again, if you're in the triangle, we're talking about hundreds and thousands of athletes, hundreds of thousands of current, former, and future athletes in this area that are now a part of that economy. You open that up. All for it. And at the very same time, you open up betting for different reasons. I'm not saying they're connected. I'm not saying that this is a grand scheme by the man. However, the reason I use the term irresponsible is because think about it this way. I'm from Mississippi. And I'm not sure if this is everywhere because of course, not in Vegas, but I'm from Mississippi. And I know the laws down there are you can't put a casino just anywhere. Currently, or maybe the rules have changed, I don't know. But you had to put it on water of some sort, or of course, Native American reservations. They have their own thing that they can do there. So Native American reservations or on water, literally a barge in the water. Why? Why can't you just put a casino, a full-fledged casino anywhere? This is America. This is capitalism. Why can't I just put a business anywhere I want to put it? There's a reason. It's a reason. It's a safeguard. It's a way to be responsible about something that otherwise could open up Pandora's box. So you open up these revenue streams for student athletes, which is great, which is amazing. But at the very same time, you're opening up something that is directly affected into that world. I think the cautionary piece of it has been lost. I think and I don't want to say that this is a gateway. Like, people are going to start losing their homes. Dads are going to start running away from their family because they found FanDuel. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that, the foreclosure rate went up exactly when North Carolina opened up sports betting. Like, I'm not saying it's that 1-to-1. However, I'm saying that there should be a responsibility. There should be a responsibility from the governing party. I'm not necessarily just saying the government, but from the governing party, whether it be the NCAA, whether it be the NFL, NBA, or whatever sports league it is at any given time. Whether it be TV, whether it's, ESPN saying, okay, we understand sports betting is out there. We understand, there's money from advertising. There is money from advertising, but it doesn't have to make it to our programming, our host, our analyst, our color commentators who never played a sport in their life. They're just calling the game play by play, and they're talking about their bet lines. We don't have to do that. If I'm the ESPN, we don't have to do that, right? There has to be some form of oversight, and it feels as though this opening up is just this opening up of sports betting and the advertising and promotion of such, the way it has been currently is like the wild, wild west. It's egregious. It's irresponsible. I don't agree with it. If somebody else disagrees with me, go ahead and call in and talk to me about it. I'm not going to agree with you, but I'll have a conversation with you. That's what this thing is about. At least I'm honest. All right. So yeah, once again, this is a call-in show. And if any part of this, strikes a nerve with you, if you want to be a part of this conversation, go ahead and call in. Let me know what you're thinking. That phone number is 919-899-9305. That's 919-899-9305. All right. So we've been talking about just different things here. Sports betting is becoming a thing. We mentioned at the top of the show what's going on in Baltimore, and then, kind of brought it back home to the Triangle here. And a couple things have been happening. Let's bring it all the way home in the sense of what's going on in the Triangle. We've talked about him before. You know exactly who he is, Mr. CJ Baker. Be on the lookout for him The open mic night is starting up. And I don't want to get the name of the actual venue wrong, so I'm not going to try to get it wrong there. I will say, just go check out CJ Baker's Instagram page. His Instagram page, I am CJ Baker. I am CJ Baker on Instagram, and he posts everything that he has going on there. And the open mic night is coming back. It's coming back live in effect. He actually got nominated for an award for the open mic / jam session. So, big shout outs to CJ Baker for that nomination and what he's doing. It's coming back. I think April 9th, if I'm not mistaken, is going to be the first day back. So be on the lookout for that. Likewise, if you've been following the RDU Live show, if you've been following our Instagram and Facebook pages, you know that we're bringing up some other podcasts in the area. We're doing the Lights, Cameron, Dustin show. So that's Lights, Cameron, Dustin. I am Cameron. I have a co-host, Dustin Webb of D Webb Productions. And we're starting a podcast. Well, we have started a podcast. It's out. We've got a couple episodes out. So check out Lights, Cameron, Dustin on YouTube. We're starting with YouTube. We'll put the audio up on all the other platforms later on. But it's a video podcast or whatever. And be on the lookout for that coming to a restaurant bar area near you. We're on location with this thing. We do a lot of filming over at Queenie's in downtown Durham. We did a filming at the Port Tap Room in downtown Durham. And tomorrow, Wednesday, March 27th, 2024, we will be live and in action at Bull City Cider Works, the Durham location. Bull City Cider Works in Durham from 6 to 7 p.m. So this same time block, we try to keep this thing consistent. Tomorrow, Wednesday, March 27th, from 6 to 7 p.m., we'll be out at the Bull City Cider Works location with the Lights, Cameron, Dustin show. It's an interactive show. We're out there, him and I, we talk about real life things. It's more than just a triangle. We talk about the world at large, from politics to current events to sports to everything in between. Maybe you laugh, maybe you cry, all the above. We try to hit everything. And we go straight. We don't hold any punches. It's live and in action. If that's something that you're interested in seeing, then be on the lookout for that, of course, tomorrow. But that's going to be a Wednesday thing. That's a Wednesday thing. All right. So every Wednesday, be on the lookout for the Lights, Cameron, Dustin show. We post the replay on Wednesday morning. So if you're not doing anything on your lunch break, check out the Lights, Cameron, Dustin show on YouTube. And if you're an RDU Live fan specifically, you might like my voice, but I know you appreciate when Camus Leonardo was sitting in the seat. He's a little bit better looking than I am. So if you're watching the stream, you might like to watch him a little bit. But him and we're going to actually come together. We host these things separately. We host the RDU Live radio show separately these days, but we're going to come together for a recap. And the first one is this week. And what is that recap? What does a recap mean? We're going to be recapping the month. So it's going to be once a month, maybe twice, but right now we're starting with once a month at the end of the month. The hosts of the RDU Live show, right now that's Cameron McCarty and Camus Leonardo. We're going to be doing a podcast together, and we're going to be shooting that one at Queenie's in downtown Durham. We're going to be shooting that there, filming that there. We'll be live on location once again. Come by, stop by, say, hey, we want to be a part of the community. We want to be a part of everything that's going on. And we're going to be recapping the month, talking about events that we've went to, new music that we've heard, the radio show, how it has gone over that month, and more in depth of who we are, what we're about. You might get to hear a little bit about me, the guy behind the mic. We're going to be talking about that on the recap show. I'll be interviewing Camus. Camus will be interviewing me. We'll be interviewing the Triangle all at the same time. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a really good time. So I want you to make sure you're tuning in for that. All right. Then, if you didn't know, you should know. And now you know. Tonight, Tuesday evening, down at Southline Brewing in Cary. Southline Brewing in Cary. Adam Lee Decker, Adam Lee Decker is putting on a show. It's an open mic night show that he puts on. Come down, have a beer, sing a song, play an instrument. You never know who might be there. I think I'm going to head there this evening. It starts at 7 right after this show. So we hightail it. We leave the station and we go down to South Line Brewing, and we see our guy, Adam Lee Decker. And Adam Lee Decker specifically, I got to go ahead and tell the people. He was supposed to be on the show on April 2nd. So next week, April 2nd, Adam Lee Decker was supposed to be in studio. The people have been asking about it every time I, kind of meet some new people. They have heard of him and go, when is he coming back? When is he coming back? And he was supposed to be coming back April 2nd. However, he got a pretty good gig. Going. He's going to be singing the national anthem and God Bless America at the Durham Bulls game. It's the home opener. It's the home opener for the Durham Bulls, on April 2nd. April 2nd, the Durham Bulls. If you're not familiar with the Durham Bulls, you may not be in the area, may be new to the area. Durham Bulls is a minor league baseball team. They play in downtown Durham, right next to the American Tobacco campus. It's an amazing spot. And I believe they might be having fireworks. And if they are having fireworks, that's one you don't want to miss. Their fireworks show is a really, really good fireworks show. And especially like July 4th, like for all the big summer holidays and events, their fireworks are legit. As well as my boy Adam Lee Decker is legit as well. So if you've never heard him sing the national anthem, if you've never heard him sing God Bless America, I don't know where you've been, because he's been doing it for the Panthers and the hockey team, the Canes. He's been all over doing it. So he had to put us down for April 2nd. And he asked me, I was a little rough with him. I was like, nah, man, you can't do that to me. But all good, all love. Adam Lee Decker will be singing the national anthem at the Durham Bulls home opener on April 2nd, 2024. So if you're not doing anything, if you haven't seen a game, if you would like to see a baseball game, just a good place to go get a hot dog, have a beer. That's what they say at the old ballpark. Go check it out. Durham Bulls, downtown Durham is where they play, in the new stadium, right? Some people may be familiar with the old stadium. That's over by Boxcar, Blue Note Grill, where they actually shot the movie Durham Bulls, or The Bull, something like that. I forget the name. Somebody fact check me on that. But yeah, so they play at the new stadium right next to DPAC. It's sandwiched right in between DPAC and the American Tobacco campus. They'll be playing baseball, and Adam Lee Decker will be singing the national anthem. Speaking of singing, I think I got everybody in. I don't like to do the good stuff at the top of the show or at the end. I like to do it in the middle, in the meat. Speaking of someone local, he's been on this show before. A guy named Donnie Daniil. I have to say his name like that. I'm on the radio, right? Donnie Daniil. He amazing singer. He's been on the show before. Probably gonna have to get him back at some point in the future. But he's always doing music. And he's in a band. It's called Duck. It's Duck. And they just released a track. It's called Mosaic Eyes. We're about to play it. And I just want to give a little bit to this song, just a little time just to talk about it. Just a second. We're going to play it so you can hear it. You don't have to listen to me talk for the whole time. I'm going to play your song. But this song, I can just hear it playing in amphitheaters. I can hear it playing in stadiums. First time I heard it, I was like, oh man, this should be playing at Red Hat, right? It's just one of these records, vocally, musically, stylistically. It's a little bit of rock with some R&B vocals on a rock track. It's kind of how it feels to me. And I just wanted to, it just came out. They just released it like this week or last week. I'm sorry. It just released it like last week. It's out there on all the streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music. It's out there on YouTube, So, if you don't have those, or you don't want to log in or anything like that, go to YouTube and listen to it. But for right now, you don't have to go there. You can listen to it right here on the RDU Live show right here on Oak 93.5 WRLY. We're going to be playing this record for the first time on the radio. We're going to be breaking a record right here. I love doing this. This is Mosaic Eyes by Duck.
But at the same damn time, if I'm sad, there'll be a fight. You got people, places, and hella screen time. But I still don't understand how you see through them mosaic eyes. Oh, whoa, time will tell, maybe it won't. Right or wrong is what got wrong. Again, to be the wrong. Will it stand the test of time? Whoa, whoa. If you pull the string, should I still testify? Let what's well enough come out into the light. I try to see the sunny side of everything, but when it's cold, I still feel the sting. Oh, time will tell, maybe it won't. Right or wrong is what got wrong. Against to pick up one. Will it stand the test of time? Whoa,
This track is what it is right here. Here we go.
time will tell, maybe it won't. Right or wrong is what she wrote. Wait again to make up wrong. Will it stand the test of
Yeah, that was Mosaic Eyes by Duck. If you're watching the stream right now, don't mind me. I have to jam out to that song every time I hear it. That was Mosaic Eyes by Duck. Local band to the Triangle. Singing that was Donnie Daniil. Once again, he's been on the show before. And the vocals on that, the arrangement, and just kind of how it all comes together, I had to play that track. I gotta, I might be playing that track a couple more times as the weeks go on, because we're gonna make sure that that one is heard by the people. All right. So once again, I just wanted to take this moment to thank everyone that's been following the show. that's been listening to the show, that's been liking what we're doing, that's been just all around, very positive and supportive of everything that the RDU Live show is doing, everything McCarty Tech TV is doing. We're starting to just kind of ramp things up and make things happen. And everyone out there that's just hit a like button, that's hit a share button, that's hit a follow button, that's put a comment on something, we appreciate you. We appreciate you and all that you're doing and all that you're helping us to do. Every little bit helps. I promise you, when I say it helps the algorithm, it really helps the algorithm, but it also helps us know we're doing the right thing. Helps us know we're doing something. I don't know if it's the right thing. Hey, Donnie said it. Right or wrong is what God wrote. Man, them lyrics, man. Donnie, come talk to me about this song. Seriously. So, once again, all the people that's been watching, I thank you. And if you've been watching, I have a couple things that, really grind my gears. Really grind my gears. I didn't want this show to be a whole show of ranting. I did not want that. However, I can't leave the mic without addressing certain issues, certain recurring issues. So we started the year off. We were talking about the food industry. We're going to talk about that one. And now recently we've been talking about the pickleball players. And I'm going to have to add another category in there. I've made a couple people mad. And if I offended you, then sorry for you. That's okay. You call in and talk to me about it. That's okay. You don't have to wait to send me a message after the show. Call in and let's have a conversation. But I'm going to add another level to that. So what's the pickleball and yoga players? It's pickleball and yoga. Pickleball and yoga. All right. I do yoga. I do a little bit of yoga. I'm not good at it. I'm not flexible whatsoever. But I do a little bit of yoga. So I'm not mad at people doing yoga. Pickleball, should it be a sport? Okay, we can come back to that. Yoga, I'm not mad at people, actually stretching and taking care of themselves. But why is every community center doing yoga 7 days a week? Why are we doing goat yoga? Like, some things just get ridiculous. Just like sports betting is irresponsible, I think the amount of yoga is getting irresponsible. Pickleball and yoga players. It's on the rise. It's on the rise. I actually had to look it up after the show. One of my guests, he said that pickleball was, the fastest growing sport in the country. I thought he was joking. He wasn't joking. It's the fastest growing sport in the country. Pickleball. Now, if you start looking at the median age and you start looking at the demographics of people playing, I understand what you're talking about. But pickleball and yoga, man. If you get out in these streets and you're trying to play sports, you're trying to do stuff, you're trying to go for a run, go for a jog, join a class, go to a community center, I guarantee you're going to run into the pickleball and yogas. You're going to run into them. Guaranteed. Now, as human beings, they are not bad people. As human beings, they're not bad. But as a sport, as a collective, they're taking over. If you've run into the pickleball players, is there a pickleball player union? I think they're building like this whole complex. Like in Cary, they're building a complex for pickleball. In Raleigh, they're building a complex for pickleball. In Durham, they should build a complex for pickleball. Is there like a union that you pay dues to play pickleball? Do you just buy a pickleball set and go start playing? How do you join a team for pickleball? Who created pickleball? I don't know what about it. Just pickleball and yoga. Pickleball and yoga is everywhere. It's everywhere. Now let's make a circle here. Let's make a circle here. And the food industry. What I've come to understand is that in no time should you buy fast food after 9 p.m. in the Triangle. I'm not just talking about Durham. I'm not just talking about Raleigh. I'm not just talking about Cary. And of course, there are places that are getting it right. The Chick-fil-A's of the world get it right. Individual franchises get it right. But by and large, from me to you, to help you out, do not buy fast food after 9 p.m. Why would you say something like that, Cameron, why would you say? Here's why. Time and time again, you go to a place after 9 p.m., they're either getting ready to close, so they're out of things and not replenishing. They've locked the inside up, so you go through a drive-thru. If anything is wrong, you can't go in. They're short-staffed because people have started to get off. I'm giving the reasons. I'm not just denigrating the people. I'm just giving the reasons as to why these things happen. So that can save you a headache. If you already have the expectation it's after 9 o'clock, it might not be great. Now, I've had this. We had this one experience. At this local establishment, and I got to tell you guys about it. I got to do this one really, really quick. It's a little extensive, but it has some nuggets in here that I want to pass on to you. Go through this establishment. Go through the drive-thru. First sign, there's cars circling the building. Why is this van circled multiple times? Red flag. One, for safety reasons, of course, but also, what's going on here? Go to the drive-thru, order the food. They say, all right, we order what we order. And pull around, you can actually see the line of cars. It's not the line that's in the drive-thru. We get to the window. She takes my payment. I pay. Hands me my card back, and she says, "Can you go wait in spot number 4?" Why do I have to go to spot number 4 to wait? It's because there's already someone in spot number 3. There's already a car in spot number 2. There's a car in spot number 1. And guess what? There's a car in the unmarked spot. So now I'm the 5th car in line. I'm the 5th car in line after I've paid. So now you have my money, and now I'm in a situation. I'm not going to easily get my money back. But now I have to wait after these 4 cars, and you're still taking orders. So now I'm in a predicament. However you say the word, predicament. You have my money. I don't have my food. Now I have to wait. And it just so happens that at that particular time, we were in a rush. We needed to get our food fast. Hence why we went to a drive-thru, a fast food restaurant. We needed to move quickly. Now, our emergency or whatever we were trying to get to was not their problem. The reason as to why we needed to move quickly and get our food and go was not the people's problem that were cooking the food. That's our problem, right? However, there's a reason I did not choose a sit-down restaurant. Didn't have time for that. So you have my money, and now I'm waiting. Minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. The issue, the other red flag, now we're on to our third red flag. The issue is none of the previous cars were getting their food. It wasn't like they were just bringing food out to the cars one by one, and we were, okay, we'll be moving sometime soon. There's light at the end of the tunnel. No, we're sitting there for 5 minutes, and none of the previous cars have gotten their food. So much so that there's more cars that are going to the other spaces. They're still taking people's money at this point. If you don't understand why this is a problem, then call in and talk to me, because there's a problem with you. I'm just going to be honest with you. They're still taking people's food. It's taking people's money. Taking people's money. So I decided to go in. This time, it's not after 9 o'clock, so they're still open. Decided to go in to find that there's 5 people inside waiting. Why are you still taking orders at this point? So I go in with the idea, hey, I just need to get my money back because I have to leave. Like, I can't just sit here and wait for you to fulfill 10 orders to get to my 11th order. Like, it doesn't make sense anymore. I just need my money back. However, The only person in the establishment who could give me my money back was the manager, and she was on the line cooking because they were so far behind. So, what do I do? What do you do? How do you handle the situation? I gave one of the cashiers my ticket, and she took it back to the back, and you can hear him say, "Hey, drop 20 wings," or something like that. She told him to hurry, do a rush order on this one. Why mine so fast? I don't know. Maybe she's heard my rant before. I don't know. But we were able to get our food, and the food wasn't correct. At that point, you already can guesstimate that this isn't going to be right at this point. Keep in mind, their kitchen was full of people. It was mismanaged, bad process, bad supply chain, bad something. All that, and the food wasn't correct. Meaning we didn't get certain items. But now how do you rectify that situation? How do you rectify not having bread and coleslaw? Like, how do you rectify not having the French fries in one of the orders? Now that I've waited 15 minutes and you've got now 15 people waiting in line. You have my money. I don't have the correct food. I don't have the time. We have come to an impasse. And I just wanted to give that story out because, and that's not the only one I have. That's probably one of the more lengthy ones. A couple of the other ones where, the fries were too cold or this wasn't right. Okay, that happens. Not going to just list out every single time because I could. I could give you a whole show on that. We might actually have a Cam and Risk podcast coming up on that as far as food goes, as far as food in the triangle. All right, so be on the lookout for that one. We got some video components to it too. Check the website, check the McCarty.tech TV or the McCartyTechTV.com, and you can actually see some of those video interactions up on there. But yeah, so if you're not having these issues, then please let us know where to go. Sit down restaurants, they're variable. We have some experience there too. Some good, some not so good. But when it comes to fast food, don't go after 9 o'clock. If people are circling the building, you might not want to be there. When you're driving up, you start to see a whole bunch of cars in the parking lot in the little reserve spots for either to go or just drive through waiting. Don't order. Honestly, man, it might be a best practice before you make the order, before it's at some point before you give them your money. Hey, how long is the wait? What don't you have? Are all systems a go? Are we ready to go here? Right? So, those are just things to help out. You know what? Next week, what I might do, I might try to come on here with a more positive story. I might try to come on with a more positive food story. Spin it that way. Maybe we'll try that. Look, so we're at the bottom of our time. If you missed the earlier parts of the show, go back, check it out. There's some good nuggets in there, but I want to leave you with the idea that South Line Brewing has Adam Lee Decker's open mic night tonight. CJ Baker, he'll be back with his open mic night. Be on the lookout on his Facebook and Instagram pages. I am CJ Baker on Instagram. I am CJ Baker and CJ Baker Entertainment, CJBakerEntertainment.com. Be on the lookout for their open mics coming up. The Lights Cameron Dustin show. I should say it like that. The Lights Cameron Dustin show is a podcast on location. It's coming live and direct tomorrow, Wednesday, March 27th. Bull City Cider Works. We'll be there. Live in effect. Come out and talk to us. And if you can't make that one, watch the episode on YouTube and be on the lookout for the next place that we're going to be, because we're going to be traveling this show around, meeting the people, having a good time. And the RDU Live Recap Show. The RDU Live Recap Show with myself, Cameron McCarty, and Camus Leonardo. We're going to be recapping the radio show, recapping the events of the month and everything that's happening in the Triangle from his perspective, his lens, and from my perspective, my lens. I'll be interviewing him. He'll be interviewing me. We'll be live at Queenie's. And we're going to have a pretty good evening with that. And just be on the lookout for everything that McCarty Tech TV has going on. I'm going to sign off of here about a minute early. So if you didn't know, now you know. We're going to be live on location all around the Triangle. Look, stay safe out there on the roadways. Make sure you're buckling up. This has been the RDU Live Show right here on Oak 93.5 WRLY. I'm your host, Cameron McCarty. And like I like to say, let's go live.
On the scene, gave it to him raw, so it's hard to believe. See you later to them bro that cut me off during my DM. I'm locked in the zone, ain't like I do it for no reason. I know they sick of it, give them the remedy. Don't get it twisted, I'm right, it's just fine, now you finna see. Shorty's up in the more things than open in the bottle up in the sea. So I don't understand why they don't understand. Oh, damn, here we go again. Don't need a step, it's a Tesla. To a head, so the shit out of line. Fuck it, I might need an edge. Ooh, she making a mess. Calling me daddy, I can't even text her. Treating dudes in the phone like pests. Can't rule it out, and that's what matters. I can't get involved with you frauds on the scene. Gave it to him raw, so it's hard to believe. See you later to them bro that cut me off during my DM. I'm locked in the zone, ain't like I do it for no reason. Damn it, we go again. Don't need a step, it's a Tesla. Oh, damn it, we go again. Don't need a step, it's a Tesla. Oh, yeah. I fear none. Can't interact with the people that don't believe. I'm so unique. Crushing, but there's no discussion. The Professor Ogilvy. No diggity, been on my A game, maintaining for those that oversee. I ain't holding your hand if you don't bring a leg. Now, why would I post on a blog? The highlight is on in my power. I took time and took game like Verizon. That's a no-brainer, I'm straight, I don't mind it. Living legend, I killed him with kind. If it ain't the city, then God is behind them. Oh yeah, whatever lies ahead, I gotta be honest. I can't get involved with you frauds on the scene. Gave it to him raw, so it's hard to believe. See you later to them bro that cut me off during my DM. I'm locked in the zone, ain't like I do it for no reason. Oh, damn, here we go again. Don't need a step, it's a Tesla. To a head, so the shit out of line. Fuck it, I might need an edge. Ooh, she making a mess. Calling me daddy, I can't even text her. Treating dudes in the phone like peasants. Can't rule it out, and that's what matters.